Hello there, welcome back. So, in the previous video, we talked about how to make our first Hello World program. In this one, let's take it one step further. So, in this one, we'll make a program that's basically adding two numbers. In order to do that, we'll create another class in the same source folder, same project. So, just hit a right click on the default package, make a new class. Now, let's dig deeper into this one. What is this all about? Yeah, so first thing is our source folder, which as you can see is already test, which is our project's name, and src is your source folder in itself. Okay, package, you can see that there's nothing going in here and it's showing as default, because it's currently a default package. We haven't made any separate package in it. This is kind of a bad practice, but for now, yeah, let's move on with it. Then you have name, that is what you want the name of your class will be. You have your modifiers. This is something we'll talk about at a later point. Same thing with superclass, interfaces. Yeah, these are a little complex topics. We'll go into them and deeper and at some future point. Now you see this, like which method stubs do you want to create? Out here, you want hit this public static void main, check this, and keep everything as the same. So just as before, yeah, just let's type in the name. Let's keep it addition. Oh, that's triple E and finish. Yeah, so similar one as before. So yeah, out here we see public class addition and public static void main string arguments, and this is just a comment. The comments are not taken into consideration. You can just take them off. These are just for the programmer's ease of access as to understand what is going where. Okay. So, yeah, always do remember the important thing for right now as to understand is anything that is actually making a program work has to stay within this main function. Now, how will we understand its starting and ending points? That is denoted by these curly braces. Okay, so this is its starting point, this is the ending point. Anything that has to go within this has to stay inside these braces. Okay, so let's make something that adds two numbers. In order to do that, now first the things that we'll be using that are a little different than before are we'll be using a new concept called variables. As the name suggests, variables are something where your values they can keep on changing. Okay, but the formal definition for variables will be a named memory location. So yeah, let's look into that and understand that a bit more in depth. What's going on? So for variables, you have various different types, as the name suggests, variables. So here, because we are making something that is adding two numbers, hence we'll make something of the type integer. Okay. So in order to do that, you have to tell Java like, okay, I want to make something of the type integer. Now for that, type int. Remember to keep it in lower case, and then let's give it a name. Let's say we are giving it number one. So this is your first variable. Then we can give it number two. And yeah, remember you have to give in a semicolon after everything. This is how Java understands that okay, you're terminating a line. It does not understand simple enter or return key. So yeah, this thing is really important. Do not forget about it. So out here we made two variables of the same type, which is of the type integer. Okay, and they have the names number one and number two. Okay, so these will be our two inputs. And now we'll need some output as well. So we can do it. We could either just hit in a comma and type the third variable out here, or we can do this as well, int output. That's it. So we have three variables. We haven't given them any values, but all right. So let's actually work on them. And now let's figure out how to give them assign them certain values. In order to do that, yeah, let's give number 1 some value. Let's give it 10. So number 1 equals to 10. That's how it goes. This is equals out here is your assigning operator. So when I say number 1 equals to 10, Java understands, okay, so this variable has certain value in it, and that certain value is 10 out here. Similarly, we'll put in number 2 equals to, let's say, 5. Okay, so now we have assigned both number 1 and number 2, and we talked about, okay, making something to add them. And so we can keep it simply as output equals to number 1 plus number 2, and then we hit the semicolon key. That's line terminator. Once this is done, yeah, so this has added it, but I mean we still won't be able to see if whether it has added it or not. In order to do that, we will go back into our hello world concepts. That is, we'll use the system.out.println statement. So let's do that. System.out.println, and yeah, out here, yeah, there's now there's a slight change. Now, instead of just giving in a double quote and then typing an output, that will just write the word output out here in your console. We don't want that, right? We want what is the result of these two variables adding, the value of these two variables adding and giving the output. So in order to do that, instead of using the double quotes, just type an output. That is the name of this, the third variable out here. Now let's save this thing and let's see if it's working or not. So just click on this and there you can see it. That, yeah, 10 plus 5 equals 15. So yay, we did it. We made something that is adding two different numbers and giving us the output. So yeah, we did see some differences out here in this program. So let's go over them real quick once again. So we made a public class with the name addition. Okay, we made a function in it. That is the main, and it has some arguments. Now our objective was to make a program that was adding two numbers and displaying the result of it. So we brought in a new concept called variables, because we do not want to keep static numbers all the time. So in order to do that, we made three variables of the type integer. Now, in order to define them as integer, we used the keyword int. Now, these are some certain reserved words that Java understands. Okay, if the user is typing int, that means he's assigning a variable type. So that's why you can see the color of them is changing out. You cannot change this as per your liking. This is how Java goes by it. Okay, so in order to define something as an integer variable type, you go in for int. So then we named those two variables, number 1, number 2, and then we went in for the output variable. Now comes another new thing, that is, we were assigning these two variables certain values to them, right? So in order to assign that, we use the equal to operator. So we wrote LHS, that is number 1, equals that number, this variable will be assigned this value. So number 1 equals to 10. So number 1 variable has the value of 10, which is of the type integer. So number 2 is having 5 in it, and then we just wrote output equals number 1 plus number 2. So yeah, that was basically it. That was the basic addition. Now in order to show that, we went through a similar process of system.out.println. Now remember, last time we just used print, system.out.print. This time we are using ln. That it's just that after this output is pasted into this console, For the next one, the cursor, it goes to the next line. So if we had out here, let's say we had system dot out, oh, my bad, dot print ln, let's keep it ln, and we typed in, let's say, hello world once again. So that would go to the next line after the 15 instead of saying in the same line. So that is what the change out here. And instead, if we would have just kept the print statement out here, then it would be in the same line. Let's show that as well. So save, run. So see, 15 hello world. So this is the difference between print and println. So yeah, out here, yeah, we did not use the double quotes because as you can see, if I use the double quotes, it's just, replicates whatever I'm enclosing in those double quotes and it just pastes it there. So we are not doing that. Instead, we were outputting a variable out here. So that's why we straight up just put output out here. And yeah, the system.out.print line, it's understood that, okay, the user wants me to output the value that is inside this variable and show it on the console. So that's what went here. So let's change this back so that it looks a little better and we can get rid of the hello world. We save it once again, run it, and it's still 15. You can change it as per you. We can keep it 15, 5, and yeah, it'll keep varying the result as per your input. Similarly, you can change the operators as well. So yeah, that's your program. That's your explanation as to how to write a program in Java to add two numbers and how to do that. So yeah, good job. Congratulations.